We are now just learning that a journalist from our RT UK sister channel has allegedly been attacked inside the Calais jungle camp. We can now speak to Rob Edwards, the UK online editor for RT UK. Robert, hi, it's Rory here at Moscow. Can you tell us what happened, please?
Hello, Rory. Yes. I've been here for 1 week. I arrived on Monday, and it's been pretty peaceful most of the time. In the evenings, it tends to get a little bit leery with the police. But coming in this morning around 10 o'clock, I was approached by a group of teenagers. I'm not sure what nationality they were. I later heard they might have been Egyptian. And at first, they were asking for cigarettes, and then they started to go for my pockets, and then I'm pinned against a wall. One of them has a blade and starts cutting at my jacket, and one of them tries to put something in my mouth, a napkin or something like that, trying to be quiet. Eventually I break free and I get away. They don't take anything from me, luckily, but I find safety back towards the entrance with some volunteers who say this is like increasingly happening as desperation increases.
So Robert, as far as I understand, you were accosted by a group of migrants at the Calais jungle camp there on the northern coast of France. You say they used a knife to slash at your coat and they tried to shove a handkerchief in your mouth, I suppose, to keep you quiet. Isn't there, we understand there's a very large police presence, though, in the Calais jungle. Were the police not nearby?
It was quite close to the entrance. The police are always standing by on the bridge, on the motorway bridge, to stop people from trying to stop the traffic and to board the lorries. On this occasion, the police are very rarely deep inside the camp. While this was only a few meters through the entrance, it would have been out of view of police. Although it was still broad daylight, there were still volunteers nearby who witnessed this. So no police presence immediately there.
And Robert, did any volunteers jump in to assist you during this?
There were none close by, so it can be forgiven that nobody was immediately there, but they did witness it from a distance, and they did offer to keep me back, but there wouldn't have been anyone to support me.
Now, Rob, you were telling us that you've actually been at the Calais jungle camp now for approximately a week. You said it's mostly peaceful there. It sounds a bit tense, I mean, as far as what you're explaining. Have you seen a degradation of the situation, the security situation there at the Calais jungle camp?
I think throughout the week it's been punctuated by incidents of confrontation with the police, who have been quite aggressive. Many people I've spoken to have got injuries to their hands. I've witnessed children as young as 15 who have had their kneecaps damaged, have had their heads split open, lips split open, and it is quite serious. I mean, this is every night that people try to board the lorries, board the trains. But in terms of actually the migrants and the refugees themselves, when they do approach you, they are often friendly. They want to know where you're from. They want to practice their English. They want as much information and advice as possible. Everyone I've met has been extremely friendly. So this was admittedly a one-off, but volunteers do tell me that increasingly, as people become desperate and stay here, it is extremely cold. It was -5 the other night here. They're going to start getting more desperate, and we might see an increase in this sort of incident.
All right, Robert Edwards, the online editor at our sister channel, RT UK. Thank you very much. Thanks. Well, earlier this month, 2 Dutch journalists were attacked by knife-wielding migrants in Calais while filming a documentary.
Hey, help me. Hey,
Photographer Toon Witten described to RT exactly what happened.
While we were walking around at the edge of the camp, it was a day when people were moving their places because a zone of the camp will be evacuated. And suddenly, out of nowhere, 3 people jumped on me. I had not seen these people coming. I was not filming them. I don't know where they were coming from. And they suddenly jumped on me, and the rest you can see on the video. It all went very quickly. And luckily, some other people, 2 or 3 other refugees from the camp came to our rescue.
Now, migrants living in the jungle have long been the bone of contention between Britain and France. It's seen bitter arguments over who should host the migrants as they arrive in Calais, hoping to make it to the UK for the generous welfare system. London is reluctant to take them in, leaving Paris to deal with the newcomers. Meanwhile, volunteer organizations and human rights groups have hit out at the living conditions of those stuck in the jungle. There are also concerns among locals of increasing crime and gangs running the area. Toon Votin again says with his documentary he just wanted to show how things really are in the migrant camp.
We put it very clearly in the text with the little clip we posted that some refugees attacked us and some refugees helped us. So basically all we want to say is you have good refugees, you have bad refugees. I was a bit annoyed at most of the coverage which portrays all the migrants as poor victims. You have some very decent, intelligent ones which are an asset to this nation. And you have other ones who think they are entitled to change British immigration law, which I think it's pretty amazing. I've been traveling 25 years around the world in war zones. This is by far the worst place I've seen. They're absolutely not in control. They have a very improvised policy. It's based on emotions. It's not based on a thought-out strategy. This is part of the future where immigrants and poor people move to outside cities and create their slum-like societies where there is very little hope, no hygiene, no education, just violence.